Hey Corey, just wanted to record a short video for you and your chaplains to give you an overview of the 7 elements and some steps that you can take immediately and they can take immediately to begin making a difference, to be able to hold that powerful, beautiful, safe space. So the 7 elements are loving presence. So that is the presence that you exude and it generate from within yourself, that you create essentially a container of support around one person or multiple people that you are with. So it can work actually in big rooms too, to be able to have them feel deeply safe, a space of extreme safety. So loving presence is a very important part. Then there is activating senses. This is going to be important before going into any environment where you are wanting to be of service to people. So you spend time activating your senses. I'm going to run through them and then I'll give some steps after. Next one is deep silence. I call it like an abyss of silence within. So it's very important to, as much as possible, not to try and think ahead, not to have any questions pop up deliberately, not to have minimal speaking inside of yourself going on as possible. So an abyss of silence. Then within that abyss, do virtual reality storytelling. So that is virtual reality listening, which is to be able to receive what's being said. You build a virtual reality environment within yourself that you can step into. Within that, you need to be able to feel into that environment. So you've activated your senses earlier. Now you need to be able to utilize your feeling sense, particularly to know what are the most emotive parts of what's being said, where to give your attention, where to bring someone back, how to direct the conversation to be of the greatest support you possibly can. So those 5 are the main ones for your presence and creating that container of support. Then we have the last 2, and that is interruption or disruption. So this will need to be used with care, but so often people, when they are feeling things that are painful, they will skim over it and rush on to something else. It's very important, and if you've created a safe space, that we are able to interrupt them when they do that so that they don't avoid the moment that could actually help them to transform, what they really need to pay attention to. And then finally, we have intervention, and that can be multiple things. So we begin at the earliest part with minimal intervention. So the first part of that would be mirroring. So mirror language. So that is utilizing the client's exact words or phrases so that essentially what we're doing is we're showing the person themselves, a part of themselves they didn't know, because language essentially is unconscious, right? We speak before we're able to think what we've said. And so when people are emoting and they are sharing, they are going to be pouring out of their words what you need and what they need to be able to go deeper, to be able to be held somewhere that can be transformative. And so mirror language is superb because we're barely interacting then. We're not questioning, we're not jarring them out of their own experience, we are showing them themselves is what we're doing. And as a rule, the last the last word or the last few words tend to be the way to do this. Although that is dependent on how fast they speak. Some people speak really quickly, and so you may have felt something like from what they've said, and they may already be like 20 seconds into something else, in which case that's when you need to interrupt and bring them back. So anyway, so that's the 7 elements. We have loving presence, activating senses, an abyss of silence, virtual reality listening, feeling into that virtual reality environment, which are the main container parts of this from within yourself and with the other person. And then we have the interventions, which are, we have interrupting and then we have intervention. So those are the 7 elements of pure coaching. The loving presence, now that requires a lot of work on the individual's part. So there are for instance, if the person hasn't heard something before, hasn't dealt with something within their own life, when you hear something that someone says that reflects